Hello everyone, I am back with another video. Today I will discuss the paper 4 English Literature MA first year. The title of the paper is English Literature from the passing of the first Reform Bill to the death of the Queen Victoria. Well, I would like to state that I am referring the syllabus of CSJM Kanpur University, and I will give this brief snapshot of all the authors and their composition. Well, as in previous papers, the whole syllabus is divided into two sections, the section A and section B. We will start from section A, which include the detailed study. The first author in our syllabus is Alfred Lord Tennyson. He was born in 1809 and he was died in 1892. He is regarded as the most representative poet of Victorian age. He belongs to 19th century. We have three poems of him in our syllabus. The first is Tithonus. It is a dramatic monologue which was published in his magazine Cornhill in the year 1860. The second poem, The Two Voices. It is a 615-line poems which was written during year 1832 to 1842. The third poem of him is The Viog. The second author is Robert Browning. He was born in 1812 and he was died in 1889. He was a famous poet, playwright of Victorian age. We have three poems of him in our syllabus. The first is Andrea del Sarto. It is also called The Faultless Painter. It is based on the memory of the Irish painter. The poem was published in his poetry collection Men and Women in the year 1855. The second poem is Rabbi Ben Ezra. It is actually a 192 lines poem which is written in the praise of Abraham Ezra, who was a great scholar of 12th century, and it was published in 1864. The third poem is The Grammarian Funeral. It is a poem which was published in 1855. Then we move on to the next author. The next author in syllabus is Matthew Arnold. He was born in 1822 and he was died in 1888. He was a great English poet, essayist, and a cultural critic. We have four works of him in our syllabus. The first is a poem, Thyrsis. It is an elegy which is written on the death of his best friend, bosom friend, Arthur Hugh Clow. It has 240 lines. It was published in 1865. The second poem is Stanzas from the Grand Chartreuse. It is a philosophical poem which was published in the year 1855. It has 35 stanzas which has 6 lines each. The third poem is Memorial Verses. It is an elegy which was published in 1850. The fourth work is an essay, Culture and Anarchy, which was published during the year 1867 and 68. Then we move on to next author, Rossetti. He was born in 1828 and he was died in 1882. He was a British poet, painter, and a translator. We have a single work of him in our syllabus, The Blessed Damozel. It is a poem which was published in 1849. The next author is John Ruskin. He was born in 1819 and died 1900. He was a leading English art critic and a prominent social thinker of the Victorian age. We have a single essay of him in our syllabus, The Crown of the Wild Olive. It was published in 1866. Now we will talk about the section B, which include the non-detailed study of author and their works. The first author is Henry Ibsen. He was born in 1828 and he was died in 1906. He was a great 19th century dramatist, theatre director, and a poet. We have a play, a drama written by him in our syllabus. The title of the play is A Doll's House. It is a modern play which was published in 1879. The second author is John Henry Newman. He was born in 1801 and died in the year 1819. 1890. He was an English poet and theologist. We have a book of him in our syllabus, The Idea of a University. It is actually a book which contains 10 lectures, which was published in 1852. The third author is Charles Dickens. He was born in 1812 and he was died in 1870. He was a famous English novelist and a social critic. We have a single novel of him in our syllabus, Great Expectation. It was the 13th novel of him, which was published in 1861. The last but not the least author we have in our syllabus is Thomas Hardy, who was born in 1840 and he was died in 1928. He was an English novelist and poet. We have a novel written by him in our syllabus, The Tess of the D'Urbervilles. It was published in 1891, which has 592 pages in it. This is all about paper 4th, MA first year English literature. Thank you everyone for listening me. If you like my video, so I request you all to subscribe and share it maximally. Once again, thank you everyone.